afternoon,
good,
Mr. Thompson. How are you?
yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Sir Darby. I'm not bad at all. Good afternoon.
Well, we're not too sure yet, because we are in the middle of a terrible season, and we hear that
Well, projected to be, not terrible just yet.
just yet, and that's why we have you here, because some of us wait until trouble come in, and when trouble come, we panic, but we're here for you to keep us informed and to let us know what's happening. But let me ask you, are the people ready? Are organizations ready? And tell me what the ODPEM and the work of ODPEM in terms of getting us all ready. Because remember, when we had Gilbert, what did them tell about Storm coming? Nobody believed it, until Gilbert came.
Well, in terms of people readiness, I think
Yes.
we are way ahead in terms of where we were with Gilbert, and this and a lot of the things is based on history and what has happened to us as a country and as a people. I would say since Hurricane Gilbert, because I think since leading up to Gilbert, I think the closest we had was Allen in 1980, which really
Yes.
passed the southeastern side,
Mm.
and before that, I think the most severe storm that would have impacted that had impacted the island then was the 51 storm, which everybody was talking about. I heard my
Not
mommy
you.
talking about.
Not,
Well, I heard I heard that I heard persons talking about. So the it being fresh in the mind of the population then
yes.
wasn't so. I think now, given what we have seen internationally and given what we have experienced locally in Jamaica and what we have seen in the Caribbean as well, there is a greater understanding of the impact of hurricanes and why it is necessary for persons to pay critical attention. So
Mhm.
if you're talking about Matthew, other events leading into burial for us in terms of our impact, we have seen as well Dorian impacting the Bahamas, and we have seen other events and other weather-related events impacting countries globally, and most recently, and still happening in terms of search and recovery effort. We saw what happened in Texas in terms of heavy rainfall and the kind of flooding that they had. So, given those kind of situation, and given the fact that the global community is closer now, we are getting information at our fingertips. Persons pay more attention when we give the information and when we are doing public education and when we
Mhm.
are working in the community trying to build communities in terms of their preparedness. So in terms of as a people, I think we have a greater understanding and a greater appreciation for cyclonic events, because we talk about tropical cyclones,
Mhm.
hurricane storms, tropical depression, that kind of thing. And so people have a greater appreciation for it. And we have a lot of Google weather persons these days as well.
What time you said?
A lot of Google weathermen.
I wonder if you're dropping words for me. No, I gather that up north, the powerful up north. I was quite surprised you mentioned Texas. So for a second, I thought Texas was a little third world country. Um, I was surprised I heard it apparently that really, that's why I don't understand. Probably somebody can explain to me. But I understand that funding has been cut for certain systems up north, which would help other countries to get data that could equip them better to make prediction. Are you about weather patterns? Are you aware of that?
Well, there is an understanding, especially around the National Hurricane Center, that
Yes.
there is some funding in some slash in funding that will impact us. But we over the years we have worked with other forecasting agent entities globally.
Right.
So it's what it allows us now is to ensure that we are looking further afield, and to have greater partnerships with other entities that can help us with our
Mhm.
forecasting and also ensure that locally as well that we are doing what we have to do. The Doppler 2000 system is back up and running, and
Hold on,
so
check
that
that with me. The
yes.
Doppler radar system, how come they miss a little breeze blow the other day? I don't understand that.
Well, I think based on information from Evan on another webinar that we were having the other day. It's been
Yeah.
up, I think, last week and a half. So we're
Oh,
waiting to ensure that it is back up. Um, and we have to now extend our partnerships
right.
beyond just
Hold on.
the
Before you
North
go
America.
further, let some of us might not understand about this Doppler radar system, but help me if I'm wrong. My understanding that is a local system which had bought from overseas, but there were some problems with it and it was working. Therefore, when you have local weather patterns or uh, weather changes, we're not able to report real time, and that will have been concerned to the aviation industry. Am I correct?
Yes, because that is for our local forecasting.
For
You
local,
know, but
right?
we were using other means, and the Met Office is very good at that in terms of ensuring that the country constantly get forecasting information. So I think we
Mhm.
really have to give them credit in terms of the work that they are doing. There are some weather events that you might miss, given or sometime it will crop up suddenly. But
Right,
the
right.
Met Office have been doing extensive work, and we have to give them commendation on that in terms of
Mm.
providing us with the forecasting.
Mhm.
And also they have been working over the years with the National Hurricane Center. They have worked with other forecasting groups across the global landscape to ensure that locally we're getting timely and accurate weather forecasting and updates.
And just like you, they have been working very well with the emergency alert system set up with WhatsApp. So they just go out and they just send out information immediately, which is very important because it doesn't give time for the idlers out there to create their own story and to create mischief and to send out fake news in order to get
Yes,
likes and so on. So I want to commend them too, and yourself for using that emergency alert system. And for
yes.
those who don't know, we set up an emergency alert system where you can just use a voicemail or put up a document and it goes to all the media houses and also bloggers immediately. And that will make a big difference. Well, I'd love us to go, since as I go on to that, what will be very interesting is that if we have a real crisis, I'd love to see now you being able to just set out a link. Well, that's as assuming that internet is up, so you could have command of the airwaves and give directions immediately. Do you have that kind of arrangement with the media houses so that if you have to go on air, because the days when you have an emergency, you don't have time for press releases, you know.
Yes, and we have been doing that because we have been working closely with the Broadcasting Commission as well in
Yeah.
terms of looking at emergency messaging and how that is handled. Because within the Broadcast Commission legislation, it is embedded in that legislation that allows for emergency messaging over the
Mm.
airwaves anytime we're having a national emergency. So that is in place in terms of the legislative arrangement for that.
But we need to get it into, and it's easy, Mark, you probably can have better systems, but even using the same Zoom, all you probably need to do is to send out an alert message to the media and say, we'll be broadcasting on Zoom at 10 o'clock, and
Yes,
for them
yes.
to patch it. So I say, I know there's plans to get probably other sophisticated systems, but until we get that, we have systems that we can use in the meantime.
And that is correct. We
Yeah,
have to ensure that we're using the technology that we have currently
right.
to ensure that we are reaching a wider grouping of our population,
Mm-hmm.
especially around emergency times.
Right. We're going to probably bypass the break today because you're tied up, and so we're just gonna go continue straight. I know of you have the kind of packaged foods where you just have to put it in hot water and a little thing in a package because a meal is unbelievable. Do you have that in storage so that if you have a
Uh,
food shortage, and if you know what I'm talking about?
MREs, yeah, ready to eat means. No, we don't have those in storage. What we really don't store food at the outset. what we
Yes,
do, we have these standby arrangements with a lot of our suppliers that we will go out and get the supplies. Ministry of Labor and Social Security with a part of the system that does the household assessment
yeah.
after a major impact and does the relief assistance along with the ODPEM. We have those kind of standby arrangements where we purchase the food because if you purchase food and have them there for a long while, they can spoil.
No, but I gather that these packages can last for a very long time. It's so properly sealed. Because
yes, they can. But a part of it as well is culture. We have looked at it over the years. Whenever time we go on these international seminars and workshops,
yes.
you get those on display. But also we have to have an appreciation as well for our culture.
Our
And
culture, we're to be able to withstand hunger. Mr.
not
Thompson,
to,
Mr.
not to
Thompson,
withstand hunger, but in terms of what we are used to as a people, in terms
really? Mr.
of yes,
Thompson, let me just
we have
cut
to
you
pay
right there,
attention
so.
to that. We have
In
to
an
pay attention to
emergency,
that
you
as well.
see, one day I see it and there's no food. He eat anything, including drinking, is his own waste. Therefore, I would suggest very strongly, because if you have a serious hurricane now, no place can't land for 2, 3, 4 days. And there's a shortage of food. You can't wait. And with the procurement system, I don't know if you have an emergency thing for procurement, but
there's
that in itself
emergency
is a
procurement.
crisis. Eh?
There is emergency procurement
Right.
that is allowed for, especially in a crisis.
But think about that very seriously, that there is a
it's
major crisis.
It's something we have looked at in terms of MREs. And we have had discussion as well with persons who have supplied them. But as I said, sometimes you look at culture as well. Even like when we were responding into Haiti, we did not send any green beans and those stuff into Haiti. So sometimes culture plays a role in terms of how we.
I wonder what the green beans do now.
Well, based on their culture, they don't eat green beans. So sometimes culture plays a role.
I'm going to say to you, Mr. Thompson, culture, no culture, see, you get some of them food. We call MRE, what do you call it?
MREs.
MREs. Because if there's a major catastrophe and there's no way for place to land for 3, 4 days, then guess what? Well, it's part of Darby's culture. Like I do eat pork, and it's that because I'm a Rasta. But guess what? I prefer to eat the pork than lose my life. So I would suggest very strongly we have some of those available, because many of us would gladly have it if there's a crisis.
Yes, and as I said, it's something that we have been looking at in terms of having, and it doesn't hurt to have additional stuff to call on. So meals ready to eat is something that we have been looking at. In the past, we had a few that we were trying. When I just got to the ODPEM, there was some there, but I don't think it had taken root, so to speak. But it's something that we have been having discussions around.
I have another suggestion. You know what you do, sir? Enough people can't even buy breakfast, Not no money. Right? Well, those who have money can go buy fast food for all much $100. I can't. Probably what you need to do is to get some into the island and start to share to some people and show them how to use it. You never can tell. You can probably change the culture. We can't talk about there's a crisis and we don't have that because that's part of our culture. And we don't eat food that cooked yesterday and warm up tomorrow. Really? So I would suggest very strongly, so that you get some into the island and get them to some places and look after it and let them taste it. Because I taste it already, I tell you it tastes good.
Yeah, a lot of us have had it, and it's a very properly, I would say, engineered kind of setup in terms of meals. All you do is put it in hot water, and you're good to go. So it's something we have to look at as well.
There are some other things. I don't know if it falls into your lap or what, but we need to do is the use to encourage the importation of, for example, solar flashlights, solar chargers for telephones, To what extent are we importing these things in the island? So we have them put down, so just in case there's a crisis, we can go solar.
Well, we have been doing that for some time, and
Yeah.
we got a lot of those in terms of international assistance that came to us during burial.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of solar type illumination equipment. So we it's something that we are pushing now to ensure that in terms of our supplies at the ODPEM, that we have your solar lantern, solar flashlights.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it as well is that we have been seeing a number of household fires still happening from candles, person having open flames. And
Yes.
and and we are that's something that we are pushing. The fire brigade, Commissioner Beckford, is a part of that process that
Yes.
we are
Yes.
pushing to ensure that what we're saying to persons use solar. We still speak to battery, but sometimes persons even can't afford the battery.
For the battery,
So,
right.
so we have been pushing, we are pushing now, greater around
Mm-hmm.
solar lanterns, solar flashlights, and it is very safe. And so we, in terms of alternate energy
Mm-hmm.
as well, we are pushing for that, and we ensure that we have those in our supplies as well as part
Mm-hmm.
of our emergency relief
Right.
supplies.
And if I tell you something, it should not only be emergency, we should be looking more to using these things so we don't have to steal electricity, because when we steal electricity, I have no doubt that this resulted short circuits and probably resulted quite a number of the fires that we've been having in the country.
Yeah, yes, and that has contributed as well, to fires in terms of uh, illegal connections of
Yes.
electricity has contributed as well to a number of fires that have taken place. And sadly, a lot of the times when we are having those fires, you have loss of lives, and it's mainly
Mm-hmm.
tend to be children. And
Yeah.
and so we have been pushing to ensure that there is some understanding as to fire prevention and protection, and also to ensure that we're saying to persons, don't use open flames. We have moved away sometimes from, we used to have those kerosene lanterns and all those kind of things. We have moved away from that, and we moved into battery operated lanterns, and now we are pushing as well a solar
Solar.
lantern.
I must tell you, probably you weren't born at that time because I hear talking about kerosene and as if you know about it. But
I
um
know a kerosene fridge.
you say no, why are you reading my mind, Mr. Thompson? Why are you reading my mind? No, we used to have the kerosene refrigerators. Apparently they don't make them again.
I'm not sure. I've not seen any in a very long time, but
Yes,
but
because
I do know kerosene fridge.
I'm thinking of the Fisher folk. I know here they have solar refrigerators. I've never seen one.
Yeah.
They have those too.
No, I've actually never seen a solar
Yes,
refrigerator,
I've
but
never seen one either.
I'm not doubting that they do exist, because
Yes.
technology is increasing constantly.
Oh, it's increasing faster than you say mold can run. Uh,
Yes.
so that is something we need to look at too, and especially for the fisher folks. You suggest or recommend, as a matter of fact, emergency or not, when you're on the beach sometime, and with what we have, the electricity, I know some people just plug in that thing and have a deep freezer right there on the beach. We probably have to move to solar, and it would also help when you have a disaster.
Yes. Yes.
So
So
that is how that yeah, I think we need to probably look at that too in terms of the solar refrigerators. Because the fisher folks would certainly benefit from that.
yes, and as I said, as technology evolves,
Yes.
we have to ensure that we are integrating technology into disaster risk management, and a
Yeah.
lot of these things comes with it, with that kind of integration.
But I tell you something, although we talk about technology, I don't know why you talk about this because I get older, I'm so backward. But you have some things we used to do years ago. We have to pass on that culture so that when we're in a crisis, we can function. Nobody
Yeah.
remember how to can beef, and can pork and store it
I'm
for an extended period.
hang it over the crank crank.
You say, no, no, you can't use word that I don't know about cranking. What you know about crank crank? right, Mr.
Something I've seen my grandmother did back in
You
the
see,
day.
we are laughing, but many of these things can come in, the old time things can come in handy. And when I hear people talk about they have chicken and lose, oh, you kill the chicken, man. Well, I don't think I've never had corn chicken, but you never can tell you can do that. I tell you something it is that we need to probably get back into the country. When I was a youngster, they used to put things and dry them and they call it a barbecue. Now, barbecue is something that you have a fire and you put chicken and those things on.
Yeah.
But they now have solar dryers, tomatoes and those things. If we have a storm, even bananas, green bananas, we could put them on solar dryers and dry them and use that same banana to make banana flour. So I
Yes.
say this to say, so yes, continue.
No, I'm saying it's a part of our food security is
Yes,
to ensure as well that we are paying a lot of attention to agro processing, and that allows for a lot of the foods that we consume locally to
yes.
be able to preserve for a longer period of time.
Mm.
So our in terms of those standardized stuff that we have now in terms of
Yes.
for fruits is something that we have to look at extensively and see how best we preserve our food. In terms of even our local apples, that is of high quality, but they spoil quite readily.
But that can
To
be solar
ensure
dried. You know what can
to
also
ensure that
taste nice?
we're
Jackfruit.
yes,
Or jackfruit.
jackfruit.
You
Yeah,
solar dry that, man. Let me tell you, man, it tastes lovely. So we need to look at that. And the solar dryers can be made. You don't have to use electric, but you can make it. But that is something that heart need to look at. There are many things that with what is happening with tariffs and so on, we have to look into ourselves and be more self-reliant. You know?
yeah. I remember some years. The first time I had dried mangoes was sometime I think in the 80s. Grace
Yes.
Kennedy. Uh, my godfather was the managing director then at Grace Kennedy, and they brought in dried mangoes that they had on the market from New Zealand, and that
From
was the
New
first
Zealand.
from New
Oh
Zealand,
boy.
and that was the first time I was having dried mangoes, which
Guess
you
what?
have now readily in these mixed fruit packaging, but
Imported.
imported,
Imported. Yes.
imported.
I'm going to have to run now. But that is something. So if your officer could try and push so that we can find ways to, use solar dryers to preserve our food. So if when we have a storm, we can have apple taste nice and jackfruit and tomatoes and all those things. Any final word? I'm in trouble. I'm gone over my time.
Yeah, just to say that well, we are constantly appealing to the public to pay critical attention to the ODPEM, the Med Service, and the other members of the National Emergency Setup
Yes.
throughout the season. We have fared well so far. Uh, Burial was an anomaly happening very early in the season. We normally tend to have the highest part of the season in August, September. And
Mhm.
so we are saying to persons, continue to carry out the necessary processes, look at your roofs,
We have to
uh,
run now, though.
buy your supplies, and ensure that you're safe throughout the season.
Thank you very much, Mr. Richard Thompson, acting
You're
head
welcome.
of ODPEM. We have to talk again, because I can't tell you when we'll get a shake up again. And we know
Yes.
can't wait until we get the shake up. Then we do what we need to do. We're talking about earthquakes.